applications of XR are endless and blossoming full of hope, as is its involvement in clinical purposes, which is steadily rising. However, to harness the full potential of XR in a clinical setup, the implementation is in some respect very similar to any other piece of clinical equipment. Some of the best practices to follow include selecting an approved XR program. A higher degree of match between the VR content, the device, and the human will result in favorable clinical outcomes and lower probability of any side effects. Also, the ease of usage and physical ergonomics, like the device size and weight, are amongst other essential criteria for selecting a VR system. Furthermore, simplicity is predominantly essential. Also, any device involved must be sterilized for use between one patient and another. Passionate healthcare enthusiasts continue to bring marvelous ideas that help the implementation of XR. Join me to welcome Amy Hedrick, co-founder and CEO of Cleanbox Technology. Hi, Amy.
I would love to share a little bit about Cleanbox, and I would like to also feature a use case from one of our clients that I think will help show exactly how we do help deploy with a hygiene solution in XR in healthcare. So Cleanbox is a smart tech hygiene company, and we utilize medical grade UVC light in an LED to decontaminate any kind of hardware that's worn on your face or head, any kind of virtual or augmented reality headset, and any other kind of hardware that's shared. We are a smart tech solution, very simple to use, but consistently reach 99.99% plus, or log 5 and above, levels of decontamination of multiple types of contagions. We've tested against viruses and bacteria, fungi, and it is important to us to provide a solution that eliminates the element of human error that is often there when it comes to hygiene and hardware. So our use of UVC light, again, is distinct because we don't use it in a bulb or a mercury tube. We use it in an LED, and that allows us to choose the nanometer wavelength, which is 265, and that is that's the premium wavelength for decontamination. We're able to reach logs 5 of decontamination in a 60-second cycle. It is very simple. It also, because it's in an LED instead of a bulb, we don't have the elements of heat, toxins, or ozone that would normally be associated with other types of UVC usage. So it's safe for the electronics, and it's also safe for the user. One thing that we get asked quite frequently is about COVID-19, of course, because that has the world at a standstill right now. And it has impacted many lives, as well as the thought of shared hardware. We have had our engineering tested against COVID-19 in a biohazard level 3 lab in the United States. We've also done extensive backup testing. Some of the contagions that we've tested against are listed here. And this is important to us because we want to provide a product that's effective, but we also want the end consumer, whether that is a physician or a patient or someone else, to understand and have the confidence that what they're seeing is actually working. There are other ways, of course, that you can address hygiene, and they have various levels of efficacy. Alcohol wipes are often used, and alcohol is a good disinfectant when you use it properly. You need to leave it wet for 4 minutes on a hard surface. And so that becomes problematic with any kind of VR or AR headset because, of course, there are lots of different types of materials in a headset, not just a hard plastic. And if you've used a product to decontaminate on plastics for over an extensive amount of time, you'll probably notice that it very quickly degrades plastics. So it's good to understand what each of these solutions offers. Of course, barriers and face masks are just that. They don't decontaminate, but they provide some sort of a barrier, which is probably most effective at preventing, say, makeup transfer or some oil transfer. And so with Cleanbox, we have multiple products on the market, but this is a model of our core product. And what we do with this is, as you mentioned, logistics, and how that's a significant part of a successful XR deployment in healthcare. We provide as many solutions to pain points as we can. That could include everything from consistent log 5 hygiene to storage to charging and locking. And of course, our lights are certified for 10,000 hours of continual usage. So it is a consistent long-term return on this investment. So I wanted to highlight one of our clients, Precision OS, today, because I think it's great to see Cleanbox in action and, of course, talk about data-driven solutions in healthcare. Precision OS offers medical-grade VR training for surgeons who are practicing in orthopedic procedures. And they allowed me to share some of the results of a recent study that they were involved in, where they were able to show 570% faster results from people and surgeons who had been trained traditionally as compared to training in a VR program, which is exciting because, of course, anytime you save time, you save money, and you also increase the efficacy of what that particular procedure is. This is from some of Precision's largest education sessions pre-COVID, and having Cleanbox as part of their solution when people are starting to use these solutions, these VR solutions again, was a critical decision point on their side. And as just another example, this is taken from the Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery, of immersive VR having a greater realism, and that the VR group actually in some cases outperforming the traditional trained group. And I think that's exciting across the board to see as many successful use cases of applied virtual and augmented reality training. And so here's a few examples of Cleanbox in use. I can't name the institutions where these are, but it is exciting to see. There's, of course, Behavior. They allowed me to share their name here. And Cleanbox, one of the things that we do provide is decontamination for N95 and other respirator masks. And those have been tested against COVID-19 as well in all layers of the mask. So these are just a few of our products and the solutions that we provide, and how some of our customers choose to use them.
Thank you so much, Amy. Is there any effect of the UV light on the lenses of the headset?
That's a really great question. Yes, we have done testing on multiple types of headsets, and we've also done it in collaboration with HMD providers. So one thing that is unique about UVC versus UVA or UVB is the type of wavelength and the impact it does have on lenses and plastics. So we've done extensive testing and simulated 1 and 2 years worth of continual use of our engineering on plastics and lenses, and there is no visible change. And in fact, we have the stamp of approval from a number of HMD makers that have worked with us and done their own testing in parallel with ours. On that note, I would say not all UVC usage is equal, so it is important if you're looking at other types of UVC usage to think about what impacts materials. Ours is very specific. We have a certain level of intensity, and we combine that with a certain amount of time to reach the highest decontamination. So that's exciting for us to be able to share that because, of course, that's of concern when you've made an investment in hardware.
Thank you so much, Amy. As you have been working with various organizations, where do you personally see the adoption of VR better? Is it in therapeutic or training programs?
Well, I think both scenarios are growing rapidly, and for myself, I think some of the more therapeutic types of opportunities, the applications I have found useful because I have a very busy, stressful job, and so being able to, in a sense, decompress and have a bit of that relaxation. While that is not necessarily a direct use case for something you might get in a hospital, but I find that highly effective. And so when I think about that, and a number of the institutions I know are using it for pain mitigation, I think that's probably the biggest use case that I'm seeing right now. Now, there are some healthcare systems that we work with that are very, very aggressive about starting to train physicians, or even use it on the neurosurgery side to best prepare for a procedure, and better explore the area of that procedure ahead of time.
Thank you so much, Amy. Great work.
It was my pleasure, Dr. Freed. Have a great day.
More exciting talks yet to come on XR 2020, a VRAR Association MENA chapter spectacle, is sponsored by Munfarid in collaboration with HP and DTech Dubai.